Hello everyone, hope you're having a good evening so far. I know it's been a little soggy here and there, and looking at the radar right now, you would think that we've got a good amount of showers coming through the NRV, but the way the radars are reading right now, they're picking up a little bit of moisture that's not actually falling as rain. Meanwhile, further towards the east, we do have a little bit more consistent rainfall that's coming through. It was in Campbell, now towards Charlotte and Halifax County. One little spot of red right there, saying largely south of Highway 40 and a little bit to the east of 501. It's going to continue to move further towards the south and east and head out of our region in the next 30 minutes or so. Meanwhile, further towards the north, there is some more active rainfall coming through Pocahontas County. That has had some lightning strikes with it, but most of those have been a little bit further west in West Virginia. And even as this system tries to make its way towards the southeast, it's going to have a hard time turning into anything that's really organized, even compared to what we were looking at earlier on. I think it's going to take those showers a little bit past 3 a.m. to form at this point. We still have bits and pieces after midnight, but it's not going to be one big consistent line of heavy rain. Now, the Storm Prediction Center still has us in a level 1 risk throughout Pocahontas and Greenbrier County, and then a lot of our northern counties in Virginia itself, including Grayson with up into Bland. Nothing's in the level 2 for us. That's centralized pretty far off towards the west, including Nashville going through a lot of Kentucky and into southern Missouri. Meanwhile, there's another one along the Rio Grande in Texas, and even a little bit of extra storm activity coming through Iowa, where there were some storms yesterday. Now, as far as tomorrow's concerned, there is a level 1 risk towards our east, but it stays really far to the east in Virginia, and in North Carolina stays pretty consistently off towards the east. It might clip Charlotte County for tomorrow, but we're not really looking at a good chance of storm development. This is for that piece that is going to be coming through tonight going into tomorrow. There's just nothing that really has the energy in our region to fuel that. Further towards the west, on the Oklahoma and Kansas border, there's a better chance for some severe storms. And then through a lot of the plains and towards Denver on Wednesday, that's looking at the best chance there. A lot of us overnight are still going to have a good amount of cloud cover, but the showers that are further towards the southeast will keep on moving southeast. There is some rain through midnight, and then that sort of evens off, moves a little bit further towards the east. So by 3 a.m., we're actually looking a little bit on the calm side. And then after 4, that's when some more organized rain starts to move in. Around Lewisburg, we're going to have some more consistent high rainfall rates. Once that gets over the mountains, it's going to have a hard time staying as organized. So expect scattered showers through Tuesday morning. Even by 8 p.m., though, those are already starting to dry out. We still have lots of cloud cover, but we don't stay dry all the way through the day going into the afternoon. By noon, there are some extra isolated showers that develop, so it's lots of ups and downs and back and forths with rain. Just expect it to be kind of soggy. You can still get where you need to be if you're doing any driving, but it's not going to be the nicest day for any sports in the afternoon, for going for a bike ride, doing any gardening. Probably just want to wait until Wednesday at that point, because Wednesday and Thursday are both looking drier. There is a little bit of extra heavy rain in Southside in that afternoon, but again, most of that storm threat is concentrated pretty far towards our south and east. If anything from the SPC is close to us, it's more just kind of carryover from where that system's really developing. We still have cloud cover as we get towards the evening. With our system tonight, could get some damaging wind gusts, and anytime that happens, it could be enough for a branch just to hit the wrong power line and cause some outages. I don't think they're going to be super widespread for tomorrow morning. I don't even know that we're going to have a lot of people affected by outages in the first place, but that would be our best chance for any severe threats. We could get some tiny hail from this, but as the day's gone on, it's just looking less and less likely since we don't quite have the energy to fuel that. And then the flood and tornado risks are particularly low. We don't have that kind of energy for tomorrow. What we do have is a front coming through with a lot of wind behind it. So once that rain starts to ease off and we're in that isolated shower period in the afternoon, we've got winds up towards 10 to 20 miles per hour with some gusts reaching up towards 30. So it's going to stay breezy in the afternoon. If we had a little bit better organization, that would help to fuel some storms, but we just don't have the same kind of factors lighting up. So you can expect these showers and the breezes to stay fairly independent through a lot of the afternoon. You're not going to have to deal with them combining to amplify one another. Each of our zones tomorrow gets pretty close to the 80 mark, with most of us getting above 80. The NRV stuck in the upper 70s, but not too much cooler than the Highlands. Roanoke at 83, and then Lynchburg and Southside both into the mid 80s. So plenty of heat. That's what we got for today. A lot of our temperatures tomorrow are going to end up a little bit cooler, warmer. There's not a whole lot of difference. It ends up playing out about the same. On Tuesday, we still have our isolated showers, but Wednesday and Thursday stay dry. Friday's when showers come back, and I think Saturday is when storms come back. That's probably our best chance of storms since what we had yesterday. It's not going to be a total washout for the Mother's Day weekend, but we do have storms both of those days, so not looking particularly comfortable. Try to enjoy the dry days that we have ahead while you're here. Wednesday is going to have a lot of temperatures in the 70s, so a little bit cooler than what we are going to have tomorrow. It's mostly because of high pressure moving in, bringing a little bit of cooler air, and that helps to drop the humidity as well. So it's going to feel pretty nice on Wednesday. Roanoke's high at 75, south side at 75, Lynchburg 76. Thursday's a little bit warmer, starting to climb back up. Introducing more moisture into the atmosphere is going to make it feel more humid. Now, this high pressure on Thursday morning is what's been keeping us dry Wednesday and Thursday. As that moves further towards the east, the warm front from the west starts to move up. It's going to bring showers on Friday, some storms into Saturday and Sunday. As this front from the cold front, rather, from the west moves through, that is the one that's going to bring the final round of storms probably on Monday before we start to dry out in the middle of the week. We do have plenty of warmth coming in, pushing us to the 70s and 80s since it's the warm front that drives a lot of our weather for the end of the week. But with that, we still have those shower chances. Wish it was looking a little bit nicer for Mother's Day, but just this year it's going to end up pretty soggy the whole time. Overnight, our temperatures hold on to quite a bit of heat since we've got low temperatures around 60, Blacksburg at 58, Alta Vista at 61. Since we start off around 60, it's pretty easy for us to warm up into the 80s in a lot of spots on Tuesday. Roanoke gets to 83, Alta Vista at 83. Even the spots that are cooler are pretty close, like Blacksburg at 78 or Floyd at 76. And then on Wednesday, cooler air starts to come in. It's not drastically cooler, but we are going from the 80s to the 70s in a lot of places. Roanoke's at 75, Danville at 75. Meanwhile, we've got fairly consistent temperatures in the NRV since they just want to stay in the 70s for a while. Thursday is when we start to bounce back up. We'll be into the low 80s at that point, staying in the 80s even as our storms arrive on Saturday and Sunday. Once Monday gets here and that cold front starts to influence us a little bit more, we'll still have some showers, but then temperatures will start to ease off. As we calm down in the middle of next week, expect temperatures to be pretty close to average in the mid-70s. Now we're going to check on any questions that you might have, and if nothing else, then we hope you have a pretty good night. So let's see if there's anything out there. So the question for prompt, rather, for this next part is that Saturday and Sunday aren't looking like a total washout. Right now, I'm thinking that both of those days are going to have a pretty decent chance of storms. If you have to do a decent amount of driving, if you're headed up towards Charlottesville, if you're headed towards Blacksburg from Roanoke, or even if you're heading towards D.C., North Carolina, you can still get around, but it's not going to be the best day for a really long drive like that. If you're staying in town, that's going to be pretty easy to negotiate. We do have storms each of those afternoons, so the mornings are looking a little bit better. If you're going towards brunch on Sunday, getting there is probably going to be okay, but then expect some raininess and some storms afterwards. It's almost to the point where it's like close enough to being nice that we would just want it to be a little bit nicer and drier out, but don't really have those conditions lining up for this time. At least the temperatures will stay warm. We're in the low to mid 80s both of those days. All right, any other questions today? All right, sounds like that's it. So I hope you have a great night. We'll make sure to keep you updated as those showers come through. Chris will be here in the morning as the more intense weather is arriving. And then after that, we've got some nice